Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello learners, I welcome you to this lecture of FinTech Hubs, which we are doing under the course of Introduction to FinTech. I am Dr. Aparna Samudra from the Department of Economics, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. In this lecture, we will be understanding that what is the meaning of a FinTech Hub and what purpose does it serve. We will also understand the characteristics and the components of the FinTech Hub, and thereafter we will have a small look at the landscape of the global and the Indian FinTech Hubs. Let us understand that what exactly is the meaning of a hub or a FinTech Hub. FinTech Hubs are geographical centers that cultivate and support the financial technology industry or the FinTech industry as we call them. So those geographical areas that are clustered in such a way that they cultivate and support the financial technology industry can be termed as FinTech Hubs. Now these FinTech Hubs are a collaborative ecosystem of the startups, established financial institutions, regulators, and technology providers. These hubs offer infrastructures which is specialized for fintechs. They also provide access to talent and investments and therefore enable environment for innovation and growth and act as a focal point for developing and scaling new financial solutions. So if you see this particular statement which we have just talked about, it is in a very comprehensive way explaining that what does the hub do? The hub provides specialized infrastructure. It provides access to human resources of the talent. It also provides access to the investments. Because of this, it enables environment for innovation and growth. Because it is doing all this, it is acting hence as a focal point for developing and scaling new financial solutions. So basically a FinTech Hub becomes a center for innovation, for FinTech growth and not only innovating but also scaling these solutions at the national as well as the international level. Let us have a look at these key characteristics. As we have just said, it is an innovation ecosystem because FinTech is talking about deployment of technology for delivery of financial services. And also we have understood that this innovation is based on the demand which is generated by the consumer. So identifying the gaps, developing a product, and delivering it in the most cost-effective way at least possible cost and at the most fastest speed is at the heart of the FinTech Hubs. So it is giving an innovation ecosystem. It also provides specialized infrastructure, for example, cloud computing facilities, data centers, which are required for storing this this information. Also, it looks into the cybersecurity and data management aspect. It also is characterized by providing access to talent because many a times within the FinTech Hubs, many universities come up which specialize in providing courses which can cater to the demand of the talent required at the FinTechs. Also, many banks, many venture capitalists are willing to invest in this ecosystem. So they also are at the heart of FinTech Hubs. It also provides supportive regulatory environment wherein the regulatory environment is streamlined so that at the least possible with the least possible regulatory bottlenecks, this innovation in the fintech can take place. And of course, it talks about collaboration and networking, wherein technology firms, startups, established traditional banks, and regulators are coming together, networking with each other, and in turn providing the best possible solutions. Now, what are the purpose of fintech hubs? Just think of these hubs like Silicon Valley for tech, which is the most popular place where all the technological innovations take place. So think of any fintech hub like a Silicon Valley, but here technology is not getting developed. Here technology is being put use for financial services. So here it is for financial technology. So the purpose is of course economic growth, because in a country like India, if we say by giving improved financial technology, we are making funds accessible to a large number of people. We are securing the properties and the lives of large number of people by insurance tech. So economic growth take place because funds are getting available through digital lending at low cost. Funds are getting invested through wealth tech at higher rate of return. So it contributes to the economic growth because it is spurring the activity of saving and investments. It of course provides improved financial access to the marginalized section, to the women, to the youth, to the people who were unbanked, to the small and medium enterprises. So through technology, it is providing improved financial access. These hubs also attract investments because these are the places where innovation is taking place. So people, venture capitalists, they want to invest in these companies. So at one place, this hub attracts a lot of investments because when the regulators also create these hubs, they see to it that the tax regulations are low, taxes are low, so it attracts investments. And of course, when such hubs get established, a global competitive environment is created. So the purpose is to bring economic growth, providing improved financial access to the companies also who are established in these hubs. So getting investment for them, attracting investment to them, and being globally competitive. Now, what are the key drivers of these fintech hub? The first is we need to have a supportive regulation in forms of digital banking licenses, in form of providing regulatory sandboxes where these technologies can be tested with minimum regulatory implications. Providing digital bank licenses is another support which the fintech hubs can get from the state of that country. Skilled talent pool is a very, very important aspect. When we have discussed that what are the challenges in fintech, we have said that still the specialized talent is not available. So fintech hubs can be, drive fintech hubs if we can give skilled talent pool through engineers, data scientists, and finance experts. It will further drive the development of these fintech hubs. Of course, access to the capital to the companies which are getting established, either it can be through active venture capitalist ecosystem or it can be through government funding. And then, of course, another very important driver of a fintech hub is market readiness. Is the market ready to adopt that financial technology? Whether digital penetration is there or not, whether customer adoption rate is there or not. For example, when we talked about in the lecture that what are the drivers of fintech in India, we had said that one of the driver is the availability of smartphones as well as the internet to a large number of population. So digital penetration, if it is a deep digital penetration, market is ready. So when market is ready, fintech hubs get developed. And of course, collaboration amongst the various stakeholders of the fintech ecosystem by banks, startups, regulator and tech companies. So once they regulate, they come together, they collaborate, they become a part of this fintech hub. Now let us have a look at which are the major global fintech hubs in India before going specifically into India. Globally, US in the hub is located in Silicon Valley because it is the technology hub, and in New York, which is a financial hub. It is home to most very famous and profitable fintechs like Stripe, Blockink and Coinbase. Coinbase is a company which is talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain. Stripe is a digital lending and payment platform. Blockink, it was earlier called as Square. So it was acquired by Square was acquired, and many 4 or 5 types of fintech services have been merged, and we have Blockink. The strength is strong venture capitalist support because they are located in Silicon Valley. So they have a very strong venture capital support, and of course the tech first culture is there in Silicon Valley, that people believe in technology first and then they do something which is physical. So tech first culture has a major strength for the United States fintech hub. The focus of these hubs of this particular Silicon Valley and New York in terms of global fintech hub is on blockchain, on payments and on AI in finance. That is, using various aspects of AI like machine learning, data-driven decisions, NLP. The focus of these companies, the fintech companies which are working in Silicon Valley, is on AI in finance and blockchain. The second global fintech hub exists in UK, particularly in London. As you might be knowing that London was the financial capital of the world. It has been New York is now competing with London on this. But for Europe, London remains the financial center or the financial heart. Now, United Kingdom has led in the open banking adoption. We will be talking about open banking adoption in the subsequent lectures. That how APIs are shared, that is application programming interface are shared with the fintech companies by the and the banks to provide the customers with very personalized solutions. So fintech exports through London, fintech exports are done to Europe and beyond. As I told you, it is still the financial heart of the Europe. Startups like Revolt and Wise are there. Now, coming to Asia, in the Asia Pacific, we have Singapore and Hong Kong. They have led proactively because their governments are very proactive. They think in advance. And they have been leading the fintech hubs through sandbox-led approach, where they're allowing the technology companies to experiment, innovate with minimal regulatory implications. They also have a very cross-border trade focus, that is Singapore and Hong Kong both. They have a cross-trade border focus. As you know that Singapore and Hong Kong are also the islands where most of the logistics and supply chain takes place. So they are focusing a lot on digital lending and digital payments. So their focus is on cross-border trade focus, the payments being made. Startups like Grab Financial and VLab are housed in these financial fintech hubs. Then China. It is a world leader in mobile payments through WeChat Pay and Alipay. Scale is unmatched because we know that China and India are the 2 most populous nations in the world. So there is hundreds and millions of users of WeChat and Alipay. The Ant Group ecosystem, Ant Group is Alipay and Alibaba coming together. So that is the Ant Group. Their ecosystem in fintech goes beyond payments. It is extending to lending, insurance and investments. Coming to India, India is relatively new in establishing the global fintech hub. Even though we have the 3rd largest fintech ecosystem, we are getting the 3rd largest funding for fintech in India. So we are only after US and China. We have over 9,000 plus startups in fintechs, and the projected market size is of $150 billion. What are the key enablers? We have discussed this previously also, but I'll just give you an overview. The key enablers for India being a fintech hub is the Aadhaar Digital ID, UAIDI, UPI real-time payments, when India has become a world leader, and UPI is accepted not only in India, but in Middle East, and it is being tried in France as well. Government push via RBI, SEBI and NPCI, and of course high smartphone penetration and very cheap internet. Now, one case study which I would like to discuss here with you is the Gujarat International Finance Tech City, which is also called as a GIFT City. This city is established in Ahmedabad, and it is being projected as the hurdle-free business city and also a fintech hub. So it positions India as a global financial service hub, similar to something of Silicon Valley in United States or New York in the United States. It operates under the regulatory purview of the International Financial Service Center Authority, IFSCA, which governs the financial services. So instead of having multiple regulators like RBI, SEBI, IRDI, they are all subsumed into one authority, which is IFSCA, International Financial Service Authority, and it is governing all the financial services which are taking place through the GIFT City. It enjoys special provisions under the SEZ Act, that is, it is like a special economic zone which has been created, and also under the Companies Act. Therefore, provides a lot of flexibility in the financial operations. When we talk about GIFT City, there are three principal elements of the GIFT City. One is GIFT International Fintech Institute, IFI, GIFT International Fintech Innovation Hub, IFIH, and International Financial Service Center, IFSC. So there are three principal elements in the GIFT City which have been established so that it can emerge as the global fintech hub. So it is, again I will just repeat, it is GIFT International Fintech Institute, IFI, GIFT International Fintech Innovation Hub, IFIH, International Financial Service Center, IFSC. Now let us have a look at all of these. IFI is set to impart industry-aligned fintech education. As we have just seen, that the goal of the fintech or one of the element of fintech is not only having innovation, it is also to provide the talent to the companies which are residing there, which are established there. So it is GIFT IFI is set to impart industry-aligned fintech education. For that, it is being spearheaded by consortium of Ahmedabad University in collaboration with IIT Gandhinagar and the University of California, San Diego. So it is a consortium of these three institutes, higher education institutes, which is going to give education so that this talent can be made available to the companies which are getting established in fintech, GIFT City. This IFI is focusing on industry-allied education, applied research and innovation. When we talk about GIFT International Fintech Innovation Hub, it is the city's fintech incubator. That is, it is the motto of this innovation hub is to incubate the startups in the fintech field and also accelerator where fintech startups can secure funding, obtain legal guidance and scale their businesses. It is very similar to the incubation centers that are established in various higher education institutes. Instead of that, IFIH is GIFT City's fintech incubator and accelerator, which is providing the fintech startups with the legal guidance and also helps them to secure funding so that they can scale their business. It will also has an aim to network with industry experts, investors, mentors, and corporate bodies so that innovation can be driven and also support emerging companies during their growth. Plug and Play, a global leader which accelerates innovation and scaling, is going to operate in IFIH. So Plug Play, through its expertise, is going to incubate and accelerate the fintech startups which are going to get set up in GIFT City. Then one of the most important elements of the GIFT City is India's first international financial service center, which is regulated by IFSCA. As we have seen, IFSCA is the International Financial Service Center Authority. It's a unified regulator for all the financial services, products and regulated entities in the IFSC. So any type of financial services, products and or any entity which is getting established in GIFT Fintech, in GIFT, is going to be regulated by only one body instead of multiple bodies. The IFSC at GIFT City enables not only offshore but onshore financial services also, and its mission is to offer cross-border financial products and services within a very competitive tax environment regime. So because this GIFT City has been established under SEZ and Companies Act, the tax exemptions to any services which is exported is also tax exempt. So it is providing a competitive tax environment to the companies which are going to offer cross-border financial products and services. Now, GIFT City has certain legal and structural advantages also. One is, of course, the simplified regulatory regime, as we have just seen, that instead of having multiple regulators in the financial arena, like RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, PFRDA, instead of that, it's only IFSCA, which is going to regulate the activities onshore and offshore of the fintech companies which are going to set up in GIFT City. Then also it enables a sandbox-driven innovation. We have already talked about that how Singapore and Hong Kong have become fintech hubs by only focusing on sandbox-driven innovations, wherein they are encouraging fintechs to innovate their products and deliver those products with the minimum regulatory implications. So it makes it easier for them to innovate. Then they also have a global regulatory alignment. The policies which are formed for the GIFT City are in alignment with the global standards which are set up by Singapore, China and USA. Also, the companies which get established in GIFT City have a deemed offshore status. That is, they are deemed to be doing something which is outside the domestic territory of the country. So, they do not have to follow the foreign exchange regulations which would have otherwise applied if they would have established outside the GIFT City. So, it gives them an advantage in terms of the foreign exchange management. Also, it enhances control over foreign exchange management because they are deemed offshore status. Then the business in these undertakings can be done not only in Indian rupee, but also in specified foreign currencies like all the major currencies of the world, be it US dollar, be it on Canadian dollar, it is euro or pound sterling. So, the business can be done in these foreign currencies as well, even though they are set up in India. But because they are a part of FinTech Hub, the government has allowed that business can be done in multiple foreign specified currencies. And of course, one of the major advantage of getting set up in GIFT City is that their tax and regulatory attractiveness, because direct taxes are going to be treated like a company being set up in SEZ. So, income tax earned by the people who are residing in the GIFT City is also exempt. The corporate taxes are also exempt, and similar tax exemptions are also for GST and other taxes. Now let us have a quick look. This is, we have talked about a fintech hub which is coming up in India, in Ahmedabad. Now, which are the major fintech clusters in India? One is, of course, Bangalore. We have already seen in the previous lecture that how it is attracting the maximum fintech funding. Bangalore, why? Because it has a startup culture and of course it is the tech hub. Many fintech companies of India are located in Bangalore, like Razorpay or PhonePe. Mumbai, because it is the banking capital. Lending startups are there, and regulators like RBI and SEBI are also in Mumbai. So Mumbai is another cluster. Then we have Delhi NCR for insurance products and lending like Policybazaar and BharatPe. And then Hyderabad and Pune, which are leading the fintech cluster through enterprise blockchain-driven fintech startups and SaaS-driven fintech startups. SaaS is software as a service-driven fintech startups. Now, let us have a quick overview on the challenges which the Indian fintech hubs may face or are facing. One is need for unified strategy and regulatory mechanism. India needs a more unified strategy in terms of what we want to achieve, how we want to achieve. Both the state governments and central governments need to sit together and make a white paper on the unified strategy for bringing more fintech hubs into the country. Of course, we have a lot of human and institutional capacities as a challenge, because still the talent in terms of technology, talent in terms of finance, both need to be clubbed together. So this multidisciplinary knowledge is still India is short of. Similarly, institutional capacity, that higher educational institutions still are unable to give such kind of a skill set to the fintech companies. So fintech hubs are facing a shortage of skills. Workforce disruptions and unemployment issues are a very big challenge. We know India is the most populous country. Demographically, we are a very young country. Because we are talking about automation, we are talking about technology, it may so happen that people may be rendered unemployed due to it. Workforce disruption may take place, people may be displaced, people may be laid off if we have a very vast fintech hub. So how do we train them? How do we upskill them so that these people can get absorbed within some aspect of fintech only? That needs to be understood. Of course, very, very major concern is with respect to the cyber security. We have seen that how data leakages take place. We have seen that how cyber hacking takes place. So if cyber security is not very strong in the fintech hubs, the companies may not be willing to come and establish themselves. So after understanding that what is a fintech hub, what are the global fintech hubs, and what is happening in India, let us have a quick revision. We have said that fintech hubs are the ecosystem where startups, banks, regulators, investors, and even academia collaborate, because they will be providing the skilled workforce, they will be doing the research. So they all are collaborating together. Global hubs are located in US, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, and China. India's answer, India is the third largest globally in fintech investment, and it is fueled through UPI, Aadhaar, and digital first policy. And GIFT City is India's answer to the fintech hub to the world, and it is a hub which is going to be designed or is in progress to be designed like Singapore or Dubai, with special tax and regulatory privileges. So I'm sure, learners, that you must be getting a very positive vibe for the growth of fintech hubs in India. So I encourage you to think in a manner to become skilled enough to be a part of this journey. So thank you very much and happy learning.